Nintendo just announced a new Nintendo Direct, the first one that we've had in a long time. It's going to cover Nintendo Switch games that are already out and Nintendo Switch games coming out in the first half of 2021. This video I'm going to share my thoughts and predictions on what could possibly be covered in this presentation. First of all, I think it's really impressive that just from games that are coming out in the first half of the year, we have 50 minutes worth of information. Whether that means that there are a lot of games that they're going to spend a little bit of time on each, or it means that they'll spend a lot of time on a smaller amount of games, has yet to be seen. I'm hoping they don't spend like 20 minutes on any specific game or anything crazy like that, just to help with the flow and pacing of everything. As far as predictions, I've heard a lot of people predicting that we could get Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 information here. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen, since Nintendo has said that this Direct will focus on games in the first half of 2021. Now, focus doesn't mean that it's only going to be first half of 2021. They might break this rule, but I have a feeling that during E3 time, closer to June, is when Nintendo would want to save that information, because that's definitely going to be a holiday title, not a game that would come out in summer or anything. So I think we will have to wait until we get more Breath of the Wild 2 information. Though, with this year being the 35th anniversary of the original Legend of Zelda, I have a feeling we might get something Zelda related in this Direct. For instance, we're still missing the HD remasters of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess from Wii U. We still don't have those on Switch. So it's possible that those could be re-released, part of a bundle or something. Maybe we could have older Zelda games like Ocarina of Time ported, who knows. I do not think we will be seeing brand new Breath of the Wild 2 information. I think Nintendo's really going to want to save that for later. A lot of people online have been saying stuff about Mario Kart 9. Personally, I don't think Mario Kart 9 would be coming out anytime soon. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still selling extremely well, still very high up in the Switch sales charts. I don't think Nintendo will want to stop that anytime soon. Same thing goes for a new Switch model. I don't think Nintendo is going to want to put out a new model of Switch Pro or whatever, when the current Switch and the Switch Lite are already selling extremely well without any price cuts yet. I think Nintendo's going to want to keep the momentum that they have right now. That being said, we could see maybe another Mario game, like some spin-off or something, maybe Mario Sports game. I don't think that we'll see Mario Odyssey 2 or anything. First of all, I don't know if that's even close to being done in development, if it's even in development. And if Nintendo does have that under the back burner, it's again going to be announced probably later in the year as part of their holiday lineup, just like with Breath of the Wild 2. This year, along with Zelda, this year also marks the 35th anniversary of the original Metroid. Now, we do know that Retro Studios is working on Metroid Prime 4. However, with the way that development has been with that game, it's probably going to be another few years before we ever hear about Metroid Prime 4 again. And again, that's probably going to be saved for a summer announcement whenever that does happen. Though we could get something like a Metroid Prime Trilogy port from Wii over to Switch to tide fans over. Another thing I've heard some people saying, we could possibly get another app for Nintendo Switch Online. Currently, all we have is NES games and SNES games. People are thinking we might get Game Boy games added to the lineup. I'm sure that would be easy to do. Some people are saying maybe we'll get N64 games, Nintendo 64 games. I'm not sure if Nintendo values those games highly enough to be given out for quote-unquote free, or if Nintendo would want to stick to re-releasing the games on eShop. Another thing I'm interested to see concerning Mario, on March 31st, or after March 31st I should say, Super Mario 3D All-Stars as well as Mario 35 and everything else Mario related practically is going off sale. No longer going to be sold in stores, no longer going to be sold on the eShop. So I'm wondering if Nintendo is going to think of another way to deliver that content. Maybe we can download those games that were on Mario 3D All-Stars, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. Maybe we can download those individually on the eShop at a cheaper price. Maybe they'll add Mario Galaxy 2 or some other game as well. Or maybe, like I said before with the Nintendo 64 online proposal, if we do see that, Mario 64 would be a shoo-in for a game on that service. Though personally, I'm not entirely sure if the Nintendo 64 service could happen. Game Boy service would be easy to do, but I don't know if Nintendo sees enough interest in that market. One thing that I haven't heard a lot of people bring up, at least not in the Nintendo community, is the possibility for any Sonic announcements at this Direct. Originally, when I was thinking of what to talk about in this video, I wasn't going to mention Sonic at all, because I was thinking that at South by Southwest soon, Sonic would have a panel there as part of their online event. But it's been recently confirmed that the gaming side of South by Southwest, all of the gaming panels have basically been canceled. So all that information that was planned to be announced at Sonic's South by Southwest panel is going to have to be announced somewhere else. I'm thinking that this Nintendo Direct could be a good place to do that. A lot of Nintendo fans do happen to be Sonic fans. Sonic games have always sold best on Nintendo. Sega might be smart enough to want to promote their games through this. To my knowledge, I don't think that any Sonic games have been announced during the Nintendo Direct. Closest we've had are like extra trailers for pre-announced games like Sonic Mania. However, Sega game has been announced at a Nintendo presentation before, at least one, I know. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 was announced at a previous Nintendo partner showcase, which was a surprise out of nowhere. By the way, go play Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, that is an incredible game. Featuring Sonic, by the way, as of a recent update. But with that being said, it's not out of the picture that a new Sega game, a new Sonic game could be announced at this Nintendo Direct. As for what that game could be, it's anyone's guess. The easy thing to do for now would probably be to port some game or tease some game. I don't know if Sega would want to hold off on like a big announcement. I have a feeling there's going to be a big 3D game, whether it be the next modern Sonic game or Sonic Adventure Remake or whatever. I have a feeling something like that might get announced later on in the year, but we could get something small during this Direct, or at least part of what Sonic Team was planning to announce at South by Southwest. Another game that I know is currently in development, Bayonetta 3. That's a game we have not heard of in a while. I'm wondering if that might make a resurgence here. We know the game's still in development. Hideki Kamiya and Platinum Games have said before the game's still in development. I don't know if Nintendo prides that game highly enough to wait and announce it later, if it's even coming out this year. I don't know how far into development it is, but we could possibly see Bayonetta 3 mentioned during this Direct. Now, two games that I am really looking forward to this year, and I'm really hoping we get new information for soon. Neo: The World Ends With You, the sequel to The World Ends With You, the game that came out of nowhere, right? Announced by Square Enix not too long ago for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. With the relationship that this game series has with Nintendo, starting out on DS, getting ported to Switch later and everything else, it would make sense for a new trailer or more information to be announced during this Direct. Maybe some more details. Like, all we've really had for the game right now is one trailer. I think it's about time we get some more information on that game. Another game that I'm really looking forward to this year, I hope comes out soon, is No More Heroes 3. Game looks super sick. Really looking forward to that. The first time we heard about that game in a long while was the last Nintendo partner showcase, I think. Same one with Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a little bit since that partner showcase, so I think we could possibly get another trailer. Maybe go over the main villain, Fu. Maybe go over some new game mechanics, whatever the transformation stuff is. If there's any side missions or jobs, whatever's new to the game, they could talk about. Another game that I think is going to be a shoo-in for this Direct, I 100% believe that we will get more Monster Hunter Rise information in this Direct. Nintendo, Capcom are really trying to push this game. I have a feeling it's going to be one of the biggest releases for Capcom in a while. One of the biggest Monster Hunter releases, at least. Thanks to how well the Switch does in Japan and Monster Hunter overall. Capcom's not going to miss another opportunity to promote this game. It's coming out next month, in March. Other games come out in March that we might see mentioned here. I know there's the Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remaster, maybe a few other games I'm forgetting about right now, but they'll probably reiterate on some previously announced games just to remind players of what there is coming out soon, alongside new announcements. Now, that's about all I have to say on games and game announcements specifically right now, but of course, Nintendo put out a tweet saying that there will be some information on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in this Direct. Now, that statement is literally all we know. Everyone's assuming that it will be a new character. I'm assuming that it will be a new character announcement as well, but we don't have full confirmation on that. They could pull a fast one on us. Nintendo could pull a fast one on us, do what they did with Min Min, and just announce what game series this character is coming from, or something outrageous like that. Though, I don't know if there's any other games like ARMS that don't really have a main character that they could pull someone else from. You can't really say this game is getting a character, because most of the time it'll be obvious that it's the main character, the main player character. Now, I'm not really going to harp on this for too long. I'm not the best at making predictions for this sort of thing. I really am thinking, if I had to guess anyone for Smash right now, it would have to be Monster Hunter. Smash already sort of has Monster Hunter representation, because Rathalos is a boss fight in the multiple single-player modes. It would make sense if Monster Hunter gets added now, because Monster Hunter Rise is about to come out as a Switch exclusive next month. Capcom has said before that they didn't want Monster Hunter to be featured in any fighting games, but they did change their mind on that back when Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out, because you could play as Monster Hunter in that game. So Capcom is open with the idea of Monster Hunter in fighting games now. I think Monster Hunter could be an interesting fighter. I'm not huge on the Monster Hunter series right now, but the games do look fun. And I do think that a Monster Hunter fighter in Smash would be really interesting, with how many classes there are in Monster Hunter, how many weapons they could choose from. Of course, now with Monster Hunter Rise, you have access to the wire bug ability. It could be an interesting movement option. It could allow for some follow-ups with attacks, like it does in Monster Hunter Rise. There's a lot they could do with a Monster Hunter character for sure. Speaking of Capcom, I know there are plenty other Capcom characters that people want. Recently trending on Twitter was Phoenix Wright. I think Phoenix Wright would be super cool. I didn't think of that myself, but if that happened, if Phoenix Wright got announced, I'd be super happy. It's sort of like with Terry and Sephiroth for me. Neither of those were characters that I explicitly stated that I wanted to see, but when I saw them, they were extreme surprises, and I was extremely happy with them. Like, those two are some of my favorite characters in Smash now. Even though I didn't ask for them, they were characters that I subconsciously always wanted. Phoenix Wright is sort of like that now. I've played through most of the original Phoenix Wright trilogy. I think Phoenix Wright is an incredible character. The games are incredible adventure-style visual novels. Of course, we've seen Phoenix Wright fight before in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, although he was the worst fighter in that game, and I don't expect him to be too great in Smash either, but it would be good to have that series represented. Not to mention how amazing Ace Attorney music is, and how cool it would be to hear those songs in Smash. If we're gonna get any Capcom rep and it doesn't end up being Monster Hunter, it's most likely going to be Dante from Devil May Cry. I feel like Dante is a character that always feels like he's sort of been in Smash, like he has that sort of legacy. I feel like Dante was more deserving of a spot in Smash than Bayonetta was, at least. If anyone was going to represent the 3D brawler hack and slash genre, it should have been Dante first, but with that being said, I think now is as good as a time as ever to put Dante in. There's not really anything to coincide with Dante's arrival in Smash now if he does get in, but with that being said, there's rarely ever anything that coincides with Smash reveals. Besides those three, if we're gonna get any Capcom rep, we could get someone else for Street Fighter. I just hope it's not another Shoto. I've heard some people throw out the idea of Chun-Li. That might be interesting, but in my head, I'm not really sure how well any other 2D fighting game characters could play in Smash without the same sort of arena-based rule sets and gameplay style. Or we could get some out there pick like Okami or Beautiful Joe. I do think that we will end up getting a Capcom rep eventually. Now, characters I would want, I've said this plenty of times before, but I'm just gonna go over like my top 3 picks really quickly. My number 1 pick for Smash is Neku Sakuraba from The World Ends With You. But after Sephiroth got added to Smash, that basically dashed any hopes of another Square Enix rep. I'm glad that it was Sephiroth. If it's going to be any other Square Enix character, I'm glad that that one got in. I mean, there were plenty others that I would have liked too, but Sephiroth is really cool. So Neku's basically out, but these other 2 characters I do think have a good chance, or an okay chance. First of all, Reimu Hakurei from Touhou. For any Touhou character, but Reimu's the main character, I would assume she would get in for anyone else. I think Reimu would be an incredibly fun character, projectile-based character. The stage would look super beautiful, I'm sure. And there is a limitless amount of music tracks that could be put in the game, unaltered, and be amazing. Though, being like a Dojin Japanese game, an indie Japanese game, I don't know if that's going to happen. Though, it is like the Japanese indie game. It is extremely popular over there. And it has a cult following here in the West as well. My 3rd pick, which I think might have the best chance now more than ever, is Arl Naja from Madomonogatari / Puyo Puyo. Right now, Puyo Puyo is as popular as it's ever been. It's always been popular in Japan, but it's finally popular here in the West after the localization of Puyo Puyo Tetris and Champions and Tetris 2. And the Puyo Puyo games, as of recent, have sold extremely well on Nintendo consoles. The Switch version of Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 still has the highest player base, I believe, when it comes to online play. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is still getting updates as well. Right now is prime Puyo time, to put it lightly. I do think that Arl would be an incredibly fun character. I would love to hear Puyo music too. Smash remix of Final of Puyo Puyo would be heaven. That song rocks. And I want more people to know about Puyo Puyo and more people to play Puyo Puyo. And Arl being added in Smash would definitely do that. It would also put more spotlight on Sega. I'd be happy with like any Sega character at this point. I know a lot of people are pushing for another Sonic rep at this point. I do believe that that's possible, and now could be a good time. Like I said before, we could get some Sonic announcements. It is Sonic's 30th anniversary. It'd be cool if we got Eggman or Tails or something, but I don't know if that will happen or not. But I do think a puzzle game rep, besides Dr. Mario, because that's kind of a weird case, I do think a puzzle game rep should be in. Just like with Reimu, I think an arcade shooter rep should be in, just with like how big those games are in Japan and how important that was to the arcade scene there. But we'll have to see what happens. Whoever gets in, I hope it's something that pleases some people, even if it doesn't please me. I'm happy with Terry, I'm happy with Sephiroth. I've already gotten 2 characters that have surprised me, 2 characters that have pleased me. So it'd be cool if we get characters that could please others. Even if it's a character I don't really like Steve, for instance. I really did not like Steve, but I'm happy that he's in because he pleased a lot of people. Got a lot of people interested in the game. Hoping we get another character, even if it's a cult character like Phoenix Wright or something. I hope we do get something to please a lot of people. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything else I can really say about this Direct. 50 minutes long, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. I'm going to try to record reactions or whatever if anything big and unexpected gets announced, because I'm sure there will be. We'll see what I get right, see what I get wrong, see what I miss, because I'm definitely missing stuff, just not thinking of it right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully it'll be good.